Funny, probably, maybe just even sad in some ways, because I guess you would call them a herd, like two different herds of very similar people, in which the hotel, the system, I guess at large, would be like a very tyrannical government trying to like force the rules that they think are right, like you have to find a partner of, I guess, like similar traits, and you have to stick together no matter what. And the loners would be very similar, but like in a different way, because loners are like very, you're not allowed to have like romantic relationship, no touching, no anything, and that is like their very, very authoritarian rule of the loners. And while they are pretending to be different, Nietzsche would call them cowardly, perhaps, because in a way they are very scared. They have fear for the person that will tell them that he chooses for himself. And in that way, Nietzsche really valued the strength of a character, the ability for a person to choose for themselves their moral values, and I guess he would be saddened that a lot of people in the movie Lobster wouldn't be courageous enough to, I guess, choose for themselves, even if it matters that they sacrifice things that they have in life in order to pursue their happiness.
What's crazy, Marx would take one look at the hotel and say, this is literally what happens when human relationships get turned into a system of production. Everything in that place feels like labor. People train their flows like workers practicing tasks. They perform compatibility to meet quotas. They attend demonstrations, evaluations, rehearsals. It's like love is a full-time job. Marx talked about alienation, how systems separate people from their real identities. And honestly, that's the entire movie. Every character slowly becomes disconnected from who they really are. Their emotions, desires, their quirks, everything gets flattened just so they can be marketable in the whole strange economy. Marx would call it the industrialization of intimacy.
And you know what's interesting? I think that Count probably watched this movie and immediately asked, why is everyone using each other? I think that his moral philosophy is pretty simple at its core. Don't treat people just like tools. Don't use someone just because they help you reach your goals. And in the hotel, everyone is doing exactly that. People don't enter a relationship because they care about each other, but they do it to avoid punishment, to avoid transformation, and to avoid just being alone. Even the most compatible couples are basically just some strategies and they choose each other because the system demands it, and not because they see each other as human beings. In my opinion, Kant would probably say that the saddest part of the hotel isn't the rules themselves, but it's that everyone inside gradually forgets what love actually. You know what? House would absolutely understand the hotel. I can literally imagine him watching the movie and going, yeah, it makes sense. Fear creates order because the entire place runs on fear. Fear of being single, fear of breaking the rules, fear of becoming an animal, and fear pushes everyone forward or traps them in place. And the funniest thing is, House wasn't even judging that. He believed people will accept almost any restriction as long as it protects them from something worse. And in the Lobster, that's exactly what happens. No one actually believes in the rules, but everyone follows them because the alternative feeling is terrifying. If Hobbes were at our table right now, he'd probably say, of course they obey. Fear is the strongest political tool there is. Honestly, Aristotle would watch the Lobster movie and immediately say, this is not what a human life is supposed to be. He believed happiness isn't about ticking off requirements, it's about becoming a fuller, a better version of yourself. But a hotel doesn't care about growth, it doesn't care if you're kind or honest or brave, it only cares if your flaw matches with another's flaw, like the definition of compatibility. And there's the thing, Aristotle said love grows when two people choose each other freely, because they recognize each other's virtues. But they feel nobody chooses anything freely because people run into fake relationship because the system leaves them no time, no freedom, and no room to breathe. It turns something as deep as love into something mechanical. Now, Aristotle would say that the tragedy isn't that people are alone, it's that they deny the chance to flourish.
I swear, Hegel would be heartbroken by this film. His whole idea was that people become themselves when they are truly seen, like when someone recognizes your whole being, not just a piece of you. But in the hotel, nobody sees anyone. They only see surface level fragments. They reduce people to the smallest labels possible. She gets nosebleed, he limps, she doesn't feel emotions. They then try to build an entire relationship from that. It's like planting a whole forest inside of shot glass. And there is no just space for depth, no space for spirit. Hegel would say that real connections are impossible in the hotel because their incarnation is overload. We are not allowed to be overload. We are not allowed to be whole, and we are not allowed to be yourself.